What's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be breaking down Central Cee's Eurovision music video, and I figured I'd show you guys how they did the edits inside the video. We're going to be going through 5 different effects from the actual video itself, and then we're also going to be going through the people who made it and the whole genius behind the entire thing. Starting in at number 1 is the zoom and track effect we see 30 seconds into the video. I'll put it up on the screen right now. We're going to be making our own version of this, so let's get straight into it. So here's a recent clip that I shot myself, and we're going to jump straight into it right now. First thing you need to do is find where you're actually going to split and start the tracking effect. I want to start it when he throws this like little spanner down. That works for me, so I'm going to cut it there. So guys, I'm going to go into stabilize motion underneath the tracker tab. If you can't find it, it's underneath window, and then go down until you see tracker. I'm going to use stabilize motion and then just find a constant thing on my character here, and then essentially just keep mapping every single one. So let's say I use the sunglasses, for example. I'm going to drag this over and make it much bigger just so it can fit the entire thing in the frame. So because of what I've got in this clip, I already know it's not going to be an easy track. So I'm just going to go with this one frame by frame and then simply move it along every single time just until I get a perfect track. So there we go, guys. After going frame by frame, you can see now I've tracked the sunglass. Well, at least that one side of the sunglasses, and that works for me. So once you've done all of that, you're just going to press apply, X and Y, OK. Now, as you can see, jumping back into our video, when that tracking effect starts, you see all these black bars around it. That's because all of the position keyframes are focusing on keeping them sunglasses in the middle. So you're going to have these black boxes every single time. So here's how we fix that, and it's exactly how they done it in the Eurovision video, which was doing a cool zoom effect. So here's how you do it. Make sure you click the 3D cube on both of these layers that you've done and the motion blur, so these ones and this one. Right click, new, camera, press OK, and make sure it's a 2-node camera as well, not a 1-node. Now go into the drop down menu, press transform, keyframe, point of interest, and position by clicking the stopwatch icons. Go a bit more forward and use this little tool here called the dolly tool. Then simply drag your mouse until you pretty much put what you tracked in the center of the frame. So I'm going to keep this little sunglass in the center because that's what I decided to track. And as you can see, now we are keeping it right in the middle. But you can see with how inconsistent and how hard it was to track mine, the motion blur is doing a bit too much. So I'm going to turn the motion blur off on this clip here. The zoom is very quick, so I'm just going to F9 all of these just to make it ease in and ease out. And just like that, you've got the zoom track effect just like they had it. If you wanted to spice it up a little bit, what you could do was drag this out a bit more to the right, highlight all of these keyframes, drag the right side, and then press this all the way to the left till you get a sharp curve. Now, when you look at it, you can see we have a much more nicer zoom in to our person. So guys, on to number 2, which a lot of people have asked me for in the past, is the 3D bullet effect. So while they were filming it, they slightly went up to the ceiling and kept it on the ceiling so the editor could put the bullet in afterwards, and it makes things a lot easier. Me personally, I just had to comb through so much footage until I found something I could eventually use. So this is what we're going to be going through today. I tried my best with the footage we have. Again, it's so much easier if you plan it from the very beginning of your shoot. Just make sure to spend more time when you're putting it to the sky or your ceiling. Give it a bit more time just so you can make this effect. So here's the clip I'm working with now. I'm going to go straight into it with no time wasted. You need to right click, go on to new, then a solid, and then you're going to add in Element 3D, which is a paid plugin. If you don't have it, you can always also find it online, if you know what I mean. Wink wink, I can't wink. Anyways, you need to go first, more than anything, into custom layers, custom texture maps, layer 1, and then set it to your original base footage, okay? This comes really in handy for realistic lighting when it comes to your 3D bullet. So now it's time to add in the 3D bullet itself. So guys, once you imported the OBJ file like I asked you to, you need to press normalize size to actually make the bullet appear. You can do a multiple amount of things here, but I'm just going to be doing the basics here. Go into material and you need to fill these in. So guys, make sure you use this table, keep it paused for a second while you're doing the same thing, and use these values to put them into our element 3D. So you're going to set the diffuse to albedo. So for the glossiness, you're going to use roughness, but then you're going to press invert. For the reflectivity, you can either use the metallic or the specular, it doesn't matter. We don't have illumination. For normal bump, you'll just use the one that's normal. We don't have environment and we don't have ambient occlusion, so we're just going to leave it like this. Okay, so this is pretty much the bullet itself. You can leave it like this, or you can also add in different textures yourself. In my case, I'm going to use the Pro Shaders pack instead of the method I've just showed you, because it's an advantage to definitely have this. It just makes everything so much easier and makes the bullet look so much cleaner itself. So I'm just going to drag and drop that on, and you can see it's made a pretty sick element, kind of gold effect. It's perfect for me. I'm going to go into environment now. Once you're done with your texturing, go into custom layer 1 and set that as okay. Boom, now you can see the reflections are kind of already there and ready for us. Now it's time to make the animation. So I'm going to go into group 1, particle replicator, and we're going to be using this, and we're going to be using the rotation too. So in the rotation, I'm going to rotate the bullet around so it's facing me, just like this. I'm also going to add in a bit of an angle so it's facing upwards slightly. Now I'm going to use this position Z and drag it to the right until it's pretty far away. So now I've keyframe position X, Y, Z, and all of the rotations. If you press U on your layer, you'll be able to see all 5 of your keyframes ready to go. Now just go forward and keep tweaking your bullet. So I'm going to bring it forward just like this, and also change the rotation and the position while we're already here. So I want it to kind of travel through the door. I'm also going to angle it a bit more upwards, just like this. So now using the positions X, Y, and Z, I'm altering it once again. Same with the rotations, just like this. And you can see already, look, when I play through it, the bullet is literally traveling through the door frame, which is pretty cool if you ask me. I also decided to move the bullet more into the middle just to make it a bit more of a smoother animation. And you can see, guys, now this is not how I would normally make a bullet animation, but I'm mimicking exactly how they done it in the Eurovision video, just to be as accurate as possible to give you guys an idea. So we've already keyframed the Z rotation. So I'm going to go back to the end of the clip and simply spin it and spin it and spin it until I get something I like. Honestly, it was way ahead of its time. So pretty sick effect. That's how you do the 3D bullet. So I'd consider that an intermediate one. The past one was a beginner as well. So let's go into the rest of them, which are all beginners. So don't worry, they're pretty easy. Now the camera zoom effect we see when transitioning to Central Cee's part at 1 minute 18. Honestly, it's a crazy effect. I love my zoom transitions, as you guys know, so I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do it this way. So guys, essentially you need 2 things, one short clip and one long clip. But what I mean by one long clip is one that lasts throughout the entire timeline, just like this one here. And then you need one shorter clip, which is the one you're going to be transitioning from. It doesn't have to last the whole amount, but as long as the video above it is basically covering the entire thing, you're going to be okay. So the first thing you need to do is find where you want to make the cut and where you want the transition to stop. So I want the transition to stop just about here. So I'm going to press Ctrl Shift D to cut there, and we're going to go back onto the previous layer and press the rotoscope button. Double click on your layer and you need to rotoscope the area you want to zoom in and out from. So I'm going to use this little area here between Sench's face and the shopkeeper window. Now guys, it doesn't need to be completely perfect, but as long as it's getting the main effect you're looking for, that's all you really need. So like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just looking through that little gap that is made there, I'm okay with that. But before you freeze it, you need to press Ctrl D to make a copy of that layer. Then you need to press invert on the new one. So you have one inverted and one non-inverted. From there you can press freeze on both of the clips. So now if you go back on the composition, if you hide one clip, you can see we have the outline. But then if you hide the other one, you can see it's pretty much the opposite. So we need one inverted and one non-inverted. I'm going to rename the non-inverted layer to inner and the inverted layer to outer. The first thing you need to do is enable 3D and motion blur on all of your clips, because we're going to be needing it for the camera animation. From there you can right click, go on to new, camera, make sure it's a 2 node again, press OK, and bring it to the top. Since we're doing a zoom out, I want it to end exactly where it is now. So I'm going to press onto the drop down layer, transform, and keyframe point of interest and position right here where we cut the transition to end. I'm now going to go forward a bit and then zoom right through our clip, just like this. Again, using the dolly tool from before, just basically zoom through until you can't see any more layers. But you can see now that our clip is just completely zoomed in. Well, that's not very helpful, is it? So now all you need to do, press onto your normal selector tool and resize your original clip using S and P. So use S to rescale it and use P to move it around again. But you can see now we have gaps, okay? We don't want gaps. So the way to fix that is to go onto that layer and add in a motion tile. From there, put the output width to anything over 200. It doesn't really matter. then press mirror edges. As long as it's over 200, that's the main thing. So you can see, now there's no more gaps. It's fixed it already. And that's how the basic zoom is done, but the animation is just not very smooth. So you need to F9 all of these keyframes we've just done, go into the graph editor, highlight the right side and drag it to the left so you get a sharp curve like this. The transition from no window to window is just awful. So we need to do a nice little fade into it. So now you can re-enable your... So now you can use the eye and re-enable the inner layer. And you can see that it's considerably changed. Don't worry, it's supposed to be like that. So press T on the inner layer. Just where the clip of the transition ends, go backwards a bit and put it down to 0. That automatically makes a nice fade effect, just like that. Now, me personally, I do things a bit differently, but again, I'm just showing you exactly how they've done it to give you a better idea and become a better editor. So, on to the next one. Okay, guys, so 3 out of 5 effects have been done. Now it's on to the Rotoscope Transitions. Trust me, these are really quick and really easy if you don't know how to do them already. We see this very quickly, 1 minute 23 seconds in, on Central Cee's part, where you can see you got rotoscope versions of him flying in, as you can see right now. It's really crazy and honestly a sick effect, so let me show you guys how to do it right now. So guys, here's the version we're going to be doing. It's practically identical apart from the transition, which I've added myself to make it a bit easier on the eye. So let me delete all of this and go straight back into how to do it again. So guys, I'm working with 3 different clips, as you can see. It's time to start the animations themselves. So first thing you need to do is go into the clip you're going to be transitioning into, press Ctrl D, right click, go on to time and then freeze frame. This basically makes the entire frame freeze as it is in the name. So you can see playing through it, it's just made it completely still, which is exactly what we need. So you can bring this over the first clip and cut it down. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either use the pen tool and actually mask him out yourself, just something like that, I don't know. Or you can use the rotoscope. Now I like to use rotoscope whenever I'm in a bit of a hurry. So it's more so a quick cheat way, but making a mask itself with the pen tool is much more accurate. So I'm just going to go over with the roto brush anyway because I'm deciding to be lazy today. I have a bit of movement of the roto brush, as you can see, but it's going to be moving so fast you won't even notice it. So you can press freeze now to just lock it in and just stop all of the changes. And now you'll see you have a nice little cutout of your character. In my case, I've got Central Cee cut out. So from here, I'm going to add a bit of feather into the roto brush. If you are doing a mask, you could just add a bit of a feather on the mask. It's the exact same principle. From here, I'm going to press P on the end of this clip of the roto brush, just to lock in that time there. So I'm going to keyframe the position using P over here, just to the end of the clip where we essentially want it to transition into. I'm going to go back to the start of the clip and drag him out to the left. Same as all of the last ones, make sure to add motion blur to all of these, but we do not need 3D layers this time. And there you go, guys. That's pretty much it on how you make a rotoscope transition. I want it to be a bit quicker, so I'm going to drag it closer together. I'm also going to highlight and make it smoother using F9, and there you go. That is the rotoscope transition done. Now to repeat the exact same process, I'm going to go a bit quicker this time. Those are both of our rotoscope transitions done. It's really simple. If you wanted to add a bit more of an effect, you can also do a shake or a flash over the top of this, just to give it that nice cool effect. Okay guys, 4 out of 5 done. Now on to the last but not least, the eye zoom transition. I've already covered 2 different zoom transitions in this already, but I'm going to be showing you this one. It's slightly different, but it's still sick. So let's get straight into it. So guys, same as the second zoom transition, we need 1 short clip and 1 long clip. The short clip should be the one with the eye that you're zooming in from, and the long clip will be the one you're zooming into, okay? So you can see my long clip is here with Central Cee. It's extending throughout the entire timeline, including underneath the eye zoom layer we're going to be doing. So guys, that's really important. Make sure it extends the entire way through the timeline underneath the eye zoom layer you're going to be doing. So guys, it's the exact same thing. Again, you need to go onto your roto brush, just like this, and simply mask out the eye you're going to be zooming in from. There we go, I've got the eye, but before I freeze, I'm going to duplicate it, and on the top layer, I'm going to press invert, okay? Now I'm going to freeze both of them. Guys, if you've done it right, if you disable the non-inverted layer, you'll see the eye itself disappear, and if you disable the inverted layer, you'll see the rest of it disappear, but the eye. So I'm going to rename it just to make things easier. So the non-inverted layer, I'm going to name inner. and the inverted layer I'm going to name outer. For now, we're going to disable the inner layer because we don't need it right now. Again, make sure you enable 3D and motion blur on all 3 of the clips. It's very important you do this, guys. Now you're going to right click, new, camera. You guys already know the drill. So you need to go into the drop down menu and keyframe point of interest and position once again. Drag this somewhere near the start, then go to the end of the clip where you want the transition to end. Use your dolly tool and zoom right through it straight away. So you can see just me zooming through until the entirety of the eye disappears. Now I'm guessing your guys will look something like this. Don't worry, it's expected. So you need to go into your bottom layer, press P, and then you're going to be using this last value here, the Z value. So you're going to drag this all the way to the right until you see your clip appear once again. And just like that, you have your clip back. You can always use the rest of them just to put it back into the position it was originally in. But you can see, to make things a bit smoother, I'm going to F9 both of these. But that is the zoom transition done. It's time to add in the opacity effect over the top of the eye. So, re-enable your inner layer, and then you're going to go press T on it. Keyframe the opacity from 100 where you want it to start, and then where you want it to fade away, I'd put it to 0, just like that. And there we go, guys. It's as easy as that to make an eye zoom transition. Trust me, I told you it was. So guys, we can't be going through such a sick video without giving credit to the people who done it themselves. So William himself, he's worked with some of the biggest people in the industry, from D Block Europe all the way up to Central Cee, Morad, and so many other worldwide artists that you'd consider some of the biggest in the world. And him being a CEO of What Productions, and they themselves, again, have worked with a lot of big people. So I highly recommend you check their Instas out. Really talented guy and a really talented company. So yeah, big ups to them for making such a sick video all those years back, and it's still relevant today as one of the most iconic link-ups in music video history. We've come to the end of another video, guys. Hope you lot have enjoyed it. More importantly, I hope you learned something. Make sure you're applying everything you're learning inside this YouTube channel. If you want to see any more suggestions of videos that you want to see break down, make sure to drop them in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you lot in the next video. Love.